Welcome back, everyone, to the Voice of College Football. Our response to Ryan Day's announcement that Kyle McCord will be the starting quarterback at Indiana in Week 1, with Devin Brown getting some playing time. McCord started 2 years ago in one game at home against Akron, performed rather well against one of the worst defenses in the country. That is so far in the rearview mirror, it doesn't matter at this point. What we've been hearing throughout the spring and then into the summers that Devin Brown was playing better than Kyle McCord in practice. And I believe much of that has to do with his ability to improvise, break, contain, and threaten a defense with his legs. And that makes it appealing for any fan, any member of the media, anybody that's evaluating that quarterback position, because only one guy can play. That if one guy can threaten a defense with his legs and the other guy generally can't, and let's put Kyle McCord in the category of a C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud did nothing, next to nothing, of course, running the ball downfield, breaking contain, breaking the pocket, threatening the defense with his legs. Just refused to run most of the time. He showed us, though, in spots against Northwestern and then most notably in the college football playoff game against Georgia, that he was capable of threatening the defense. He can run. Put Kyle McCord, without seeing him yet, of course, against competition, put him in the same category. That's not a gift, that's not a skill set, that's not an ability that you can check on his side in his favor, but he can do it. He's not immobile. He's not George Bland at 45 years old. Okay, so he can threaten the defense. He can keep them honest. But Devin Brown, it's a skill set. It's a dynamic quality of what's in his toolbox to threaten the defense. So if things are fairly equal in regards to the quarterbacking, throwing the football, then you go with the dynamic runner, of course. Now, Kyle McCord, it's been talked about from people that watch him in practice. Now, we've only seen him in spring games, and his last spring game was not anything notable, that impressive, not really out of anyone on the quarterbacking side for Ohio State. And unfortunately, we did not get a chance to see Devin Brown in the spring game. That Kyle McCord, despite being less than impressive in the spring game, is a gifted thrower of the football. So maybe think C.J. Stroud also in that category as well. Well, it's been reported, leaked at times that Devin Brown was gaining and had surpassed Kyle McCord. And even Ryan Day said at today's news conference that at one point Devin Brown did surpass McCord. But in the last few weeks, McCord has been more consistent. That's what Ohio State needs. They need consistency at quarterback. If they are fairly confident that the new tackles will protect the quarterback, then they need consistency at the position, of course. It's all about beyond the talent. The talent is possessed by both players, just in different ways. It comes down to leadership and decision-making on the field and being able to pull that trigger at the right time, in the right instance, and see the right things, and then pull that trigger under the gun against good competition. Not against Youngstown State, not against Western Kentucky, and who knows, maybe or maybe not against Indiana. The Hoosiers have jumped up and been a formidable opponent against Ohio State at times in the last 10 years, and at other times, i.e. the last trip to Bloomington, blowout immediately in the first half, 35-point game at halftime, done. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. I believe that Ryan Day, if the quarterback competition is close, but McCord is truly the leader, and that's the picture he has painted. McCord's better. He's been more consistent. He's in the lead, but not substantially, that it's still fairly close, that he's making the right move. Because if that is truly what's happening on the practice field, another thing that Ryan Day accentuated today, we can only go by what's happening on the practice field. And we all know that players sometimes elevate when they hit the big stage, and sometimes they back off and they throttle down and aren't quite the player when the lights are on. So this is what we get to see. McCord, who's won the job, be the starting quarterback. But Devin Brown, who certainly within the competition took it to the wire and may show up in the bright lights, is given the opportunity. Best of both worlds. Ryan Day called it, again, based on the observation and the evaluation that he has told us is making the right decision because he's giving both opportunity, but he's giving McCord the starter's call because he won the job. But we still get to see Devin Brown. And if this continues through 3 weeks, let's say they both play well, which isn't going to be any huge surprise against Indiana, and then against Youngstown State, and then against Western Kentucky, that we may see the same thing going into Notre Dame. And I'm okay with that if Kyle McCord's throwing 65, 70% with a low interception rate, and Devin Brown's doing the same thing, and he's showing maybe that he's not quite as good as Kyle McCord, but he's good enough to play, to be in the game, and that also maybe he broke off a few runs that Kyle McCord is not capable of executing, then you continue down this path. Yes, you need to have a quarterback, but think to the north. They did it 2 years ago with J.J. McCarthy coming in as an option, as a curveball, as a changeup for the defense, with Cade McNamara as the starter. Your thoughts down below on the Ohio State quarterback situation and the decision by Ryan Day. Keep in mind that we've got a watch party. How about that? That's kind of convenient for you YouTube members and also Patreon members. So either join YouTube or patreon.com/MarkRogersTV. And you can watch the game with us. We've got a big watch party coming up Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, Ohio State, Indiana headlining, but we'll be keeping our eyes on all the action right here at the Voice of College Football.